Just click that. I'll just flick on my presentation. Oh, hold up. Got to share my screen first, don't I? There we go. Perfect, ready to go. Hey, well, thanks everyone for joining today online, and obviously those that are going to be listening in a little bit later. My name's Kane, I'm from Provoke Solutions. We're based in Wellington, but we've also got offices in Auckland as well as over in the US. And I'm just keen to talk to you a little bit around what we do here, where we've come from, and also where we're looking to move forward in the future. Just to introduce my panel today, so you've got myself as the recruitment manager. We've got Jacques also joining us. He's our VP of Global Engineering. We've got Abby, who's also going to talk to you today a little bit about what it's like to come on to Provoke as a grad, and how she's sort of progressed in the organisation over the last 18 months to 2 years. And Raj, who's going to share a little bit about his recent joining Provoke, as well as his role as an alliance manager with Microsoft. So just a little bit more about us. So we're a software company, or essentially we're an end-to-end software delivery consultancy. We deliver enterprise-grade solutions crafted by exceptional people like the ones that are joining you on this call today. But by end-to-end, what I mean is we provide everything from strategy consulting through to the implementation and managed services, as well as the complete build-out of new software solutions for different customers all over New Zealand, Australia, APAC as a whole region, as well as North America. So that's anything from data and analytics to modern cloud infrastructure and digitization. A little bit about our history. So founded in 2001 by 5 people based here in Wellington. We've still got 2 of those people in our business today. So Mason and Brendan, who both sit in our senior leadership and executive leadership teams. Over about sort of 18 odd years, they established offices across APAC area. So that includes Auckland, Wellington. We also had one in the Philippines, as well as North America, delivering solutions to different customers all over the world with a little bit of Kiwi flair. In 2019, we were acquired by a company called Bridgewest Investment Group, but this came after a very long-standing relationship that we had with them around sort of how we're going to build our business and how they wanted to get involved with getting us onto a bigger global scale. In 2020, Andy Lynn was appointed as our CEO, and he's now driving us forward towards a new strategy of building the right solutions for companies, not just the solutions that they feel they want, but the ones that are going to help them win future success moving forward. We're driven by 6 sort of core values, all centered around sort of working together in a cohesive team with a very strong commitment to lifelong learning. So that's a really integral part of getting graduates into our team, is that we like to grow the people within our business, but not only grow our people, also grow the solutions that we're building for our customers. Everything is about accountability with us, so taking extreme ownership and delivering on our promises, centralized around building these really trusted partnerships with our clients as we continue to build them solutions now, as well as further forward into the future. A few other ones there: respect and transparency is that we like to have a very open and honest conversation with each other as well as with our customers. It's not always about saying everyone's always right, but it's about listening to everyone's opinions and really providing feedback in the moment. Stewardship is all around us making sure that we are leaving Provoke in a better place than when we started. So making sure that we're adding our little bit of value, making sure that we are doing our little bit to change the way that things are done, and also to succeed with our customers. I'm pretty much going to hand you over to Jacques now, who's going to tell us a little bit more about his journey and what his role is here at Provoke, as well as a little bit more around the teams and what we do here.
Awesome, thanks for that, Kane. Hi everyone, great to be here today. As Ken said, my name is Jacques. I'm the head of engineering here at Provoke, currently based in Auckland, New Zealand. And I guess my job is to support our technical delivery teams to design, build, and maintain some really cool solutions for our customers, both in New Zealand and the US. You know, in a nutshell, what our team does is we work with customers to understand their problems and how they can differentiate in the market, and how we can leverage technology to really drive their business forward, to make their customers' lives better, to add value to their business brand through smart use of software. So in terms of my journey here at Provoke, I'm really passionate about our grad program, and the main reason for that is that I myself actually started off as a grad many years ago. So I started Provoke about 15 years ago. I was lucky enough to be kind of one of the first employees when we first expanded up to Auckland. And over that time, I've really had the opportunity to be mentored and grown by some of the real industry experts I've worked with over the years. I started as a developer back in the day. And for me, really the first stage was really around kind of honing my craft and learning how to be a confident developer. You find when you kind of leave university, you learn more in that first kind of 6 months than you kind of do the whole course. That real world experience really is kind of critical. And something I really encourage you guys, as you kind of moving towards the end of your careers, to look at how you can turbocharge and accelerate your entry into the industry by really kind of getting hands on keyboard as much as possible. Build stuff in your own time, play around with new technologies. Don't wait for an internship or work or school to tell you what to do. Get out there, start playing with stuff, and build out your capabilities. For me personally, it's after a few years of getting hands on tools, I got the opportunity to work as a kind of technical lead. So kind of moving up from junior through to intermediate and then senior developer, then kind of looking as a technical lead role, which involves not only focusing on delivering your own code, but also working with customers and architects to design solutions, mentor others, and understand how the part that you play in the broader delivery of projects for customers. And that was really kind of rewarding. Got to work on a whole bunch of different projects, getting experience with different industries. And over the years, as the company grew, I got the opportunity to kind of try my hand at a lot of different roles. It's everything from sales and account management, helping to understand customers' businesses and how we can support them, working from consulting and architecture perspective in terms of designing solutions, and even project management around how we could help train and to help manage large programs of work with customers. Now, this kind of broad experience is really super useful in understanding not only the industry, but how we can support customers in their unique businesses. As the business grew, I was lucky enough to be promoted a few times, and to position I'm in right now, where I get the opportunity to not only kind of mix my passion for technology and building software and solving technical problems, but also get to focus on our people and how we can kind of support and grow and develop talent within our business, and how we can grow our business and the business of software development. So everything from how we can define our products and our go-to-market and our differentiators, how we make sure that we've got a scalable, reliable, and secure organization as well. One thing I can say that I've really enjoyed my time at Provoke is, it's never got easy. It's always been a challenge. There's always been something new to learn. And I think you'll find, as you guys kind of progress through the industry, it's very much the same. Technology changes very quickly. Ways of working are constantly being improved. And there's lots of different opportunities out there. So it's really cool to never have to kind of stop learning and always be challenged for sure. A bit more about, Provoke and what we do here. So as Kane mentioned, we provide end-to-end software services. We focus a lot on cloud and a lot of Microsoft technologies, but in a nutshell, we build cool software tailored specifically for customers and their unique business needs. Now we work with a broad range of customers, and you get a lot of variety at a services organization like Provoke. We work with everything from big government agencies. A couple of examples of that would be we're building a big seed management platform for New Zealand Seed Authority, which Abby might mention in a bit, where we look after the manufacture, production of seed and certification across New Zealand and export it around the world. We're working with MPI around a large biosecurity platform that helps ensure New Zealand's safe, both from a customs perspective and biosecurity, in terms of import and customs. We also work with large enterprise customers like ANZ, where we've built a large sales platform that helps their representatives connect better with their customers. We've helped insurance companies like Partners Life build claims and insurance application processing systems that help serve their customers better. We also have kind of the opportunity to work with small businesses, building really cool, innovative products. Example, we just delivered a mobile application for an organization that helps them inspect buildings and homes and provide valuations, all totally automated through a distributed mobile application. And probably most exciting, what I enjoy is kind of working with startups. So customers that have got cool ideas, they're trying to build new products, kind of go to market and kind of stamp their mark on the world. Now, in the last few years, we've done some pretty cool stuff. We've built a product for a company in the US called Hyperio that uses AI and smart machine learning to ingest content around their sales rep, around customers, and provide sales rep the opportunity to create deep connections and more and quicker interactions with customers in terms of selling products. We're also working on a really cool solution at the moment, leveraging blockchain to deliver smart contract solutions in the financial institution, for financial organization. And we've done stuff in the past around IoT, working with smart devices for, recognizing different sounds on edge devices and doing kind of smart processing and reactions based on that. So a lot of different types of solutions, and that's something I really enjoy is being able to learn about different businesses and industries and going deep there, and not only learning about technology, but how organizations work. Now, for us to kind of be successful, we spend a lot of time focusing on innovation and best practices. Organizations typically come to us because they've got some really hard problems that they need to solve. Now, that starts with us having a really strong foundation on best practice software development, and that's everything from making sure our full stack developers are running code in the most appropriate manner, leveraging agile frameworks and to make sure we've got great delivery and they're meeting customers' needs, and following kind of DevOps philosophy around automation, rapid delivery, scalability, and monitoring of our applications, and then putting in big bets in terms of what that next big technology is going to be. We've invested heavily in the cloud and continue to build out machine learning and AI capabilities, and then always looking for that modern technology that's going to differentiate our customers' businesses, things like blockchain and IoT, and even a bit of AR and VR in the future as well. And that's again one of the cool things about working at a services company is that kind of variety. Now, just to kind of finish off, I guess in terms of the opportunities here at Provoke, it's not all around software development, right? There is, although I guess most of you guys are kind of comp sci grads like myself or software engineering, there's lots of roles that play a part in delivering great software. And for us, you might start in one area of the business and progress to the others as you kind of learn more about where your passions lie. But in a nutshell, these are some of the roles that we do involve in I guess end-to-end solution design and delivery, right? So first we've got kind of BAs who will help understand our customers' processes and help refine those at a business architecture level, and provide consulting services around best practices. We've got our UX specialists who design really intuitive solutions that not only look great, but are really easy to use and again, meet those developers, those customers' needs. We've got obviously our software engineers who write kind of back-end and front-end code. We've got our automated testers who write scripts to make sure that our quality of solutions are fantastic. We've got our architects and consultants who design applications and platforms. And then last but not least, we've also got our cloud engineers who help build out deployment pipelines and scalable solutions. It's not enough to have great code, but if we can't run it to service a global audience and performs well and it's secure, it's no good at all. So that's, I guess, a real rapid overview of some of what I've done here at Provoke, some of our customers and some of the roles that we can run on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully you found that interesting. If you've got any questions, we can definitely have a chat at the end, or feel free to kind of reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way. So best of luck, everyone, on your career search and for your final studies. I look forward to working with you one day. Back to you, Kane.
Awesome. Cheers for that, Jacques. So now Abby's going to talk to you a little bit more around sort of starting as a grad and then making her way through the organization, sort of what you sort of do when you start, when you first get here to how you sort of progress in your first 6, 12, 18, and then obviously now 24 months. So I'll hand it over to you, Abby. You can take it away from here.
Cheers, Kane. Good morning, everyone. My name is Abby, and I am a software engineer at Provoke. I started at Provoke last January after I managed to land myself a grad role, having just finished up my honours degree in computer science up at Waikato. I'll be honest, when I first started, I did think they'd made a bit of a mistake because Provoke is a Microsoft shop that uses Angular, and at uni I'd mainly done Java and React, but obviously I guess they could see the potential, and after having time to train in Angular and .NET for my first couple of weeks, I was put on my first project. Luckily, this was an internal one, so I was allowed to test out these new skills without worrying that I would break a customer's project. So this first project, that was called Ensure, and this is actually an alert management tool that Provoke uses to monitor our client applications. So while working on this project, I got to play around with some front-end skills and got to design and implement some data dashboards. So that went well, and then they let me loose on a client project. So this first one that I worked on was for the National Child Cancer Network, and it mainly involved updating and creating some SQL scripts and doing some front-end work. And again, that went well. So then I moved on to working on a new website for the Bridge West Group, which are the ones that Kane mentioned. They invest in Provoke. So that was a little bit of pressure on there, but again, went really well. For that project, our tech stack was, we use MVC with Razor Views, and that was really cool. We got to play around with some fun front-end stuff. And then that took me through to May, where I started on NZSA. So Jacques mentioned that one. So NZSA is the New Zealand Seeds Authority, and our project is building them a brand new application from scratch to digitize the full process of seed certification in New Zealand. So for this project, we're using .NET Core for our backend and API. We're using Angular in the front end, and it's all hosted in Azure. So I'm still working on this project. As I said, it's a bit of a beast, but it's been really cool to be a part of a big project's kind of full process and seeing what we've achieved and how much the customers are impressed with it. And I'm also now doing a bit of work supporting a variety of applications for Flight Centre. So they kind of wound things down when COVID hit, and now they're ready to wind things back up as people get moving again. So that's been a cool change and a bit of a challenge. They're more kind of old school applications that mainly use MVC and .NET, but it's been good for me, a bit of a challenge to see where we can go in and improve and recommend to them some new ways to innovate and improve their applications. So as you can see, throughout the last kind of year and a half-ish, I've had the opportunity to work on a variety of different projects and with a variety of different tech, which I think is one of the real awesome perks of working for a services company rather than just a product company. It keeps things fresh and definitely allows you to work and hone a variety of different skills. Throughout my journey here, I've been able to gain 4 different Microsoft certifications, and I'm now working on my 5th one. So these are definitely encouraged and also paid for by Provoke, which is very cool. It shows their willingness to help us upskill. And I've also been able to work with a range of different developers and people across the business. And one of the things that I think Provoke does best is allowing people to step up and challenge themselves. So although I'm usually working in teams with developers that have way more experience than me, there's never been a time where I haven't had the chance to try something out and challenge myself. We don't get allocated our tasks and work based on how many years experience we have. So grads don't end up doing the little text changes and kind of grunt work where the seniors have all the fun. And I think that's been a massive part of how I've been able to learn as much as I have in the past 18 months. And also, if you do take something on and you find you might have bit off a bit more than you can chew, you're finding it a bit tricky, there's always heaps of support there. Anyone's keen, happy to jump on a call and help you out, or pop over to your desk and help you work through it, which has been awesome. I've also had the opportunity not just to kind of improve and hone my technical skills, but I've also been able to gain skills working with customers. So talking through requirements and having discussions about how we can do things best, and then also presenting and showcasing the work that we've done to our key stakeholders and getting their feedback and engagement, which I think has been another massive part that I've really enjoyed. So that's been my journey with Provoke so far. I will be super cheesy and say that I do genuinely love my job. So if you're someone that wants to challenge yourself and grow and get to work with a variety of products and tech and people, and also be cheesy and love your job, check out Provoke.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Abby. And as I mentioned earlier, Raj is going to talk to us a little bit more about, so he's actually only just joined the company about a month ago. So he's going to tell you about his journey to date and sort of coming on board and what that's like. But also a really integral part of our relationship with Microsoft is having Raj solely dedicated to building a strong alliance with them around understanding what their needs are, as well as what we need within our business. So I'll hand it over to you, Raj, to have a quick chat about your role and sort of your experience so far.
Thanks, Kane. So guys, I am Raj. I'm the newest of the tribe here. I'm like a month old in the system now. And as Kane mentioned, I'm basically here to manage the alliance that we have with Microsoft, who are one of our biggest tech partners. Before this, I've just completed my master's grad from AUT in creative technologies. I've had previous work experience, not in New Zealand, back in India, where I was working as a relationship manager with Citibank, and then moved on to start my own venture, got it funded, exited that, and then planned over to come to New Zealand, and all that happened. At Provoke, I've been over a month, like I said, and I must say this, the favorite thing that I have at Provoke right now is the energy of the people here. I just love the energy that people have. Everyone I've met is just so high on work. And more than that, also what I've felt is that everyone is focused, and not just in terms of work, but also in terms of their own physical and mental health being. They care about themselves, and like Abby said, about people in the team, and they want to see that everybody grows together. Let me talk about my role a little bit now. So as Kane said, I have basically come in to look at the partnership that we have primarily with Microsoft. And in that role, I get to talk and meet a lot of internal and external stakeholders. That kind of gives me a view and perspective of how the company is internally, of what the people think of it, and also an external third-person view when I talk to people who are outside the company about business and stuff. Internally, I primarily work with project managers, business development managers, tech heads, and outside Provoke, I have been talking to partner managers, Microsoft, business group heads, and people who are driving technologies like Azure and modern workspaces at Microsoft. These are people who are driving the technology for Microsoft in New Zealand. So when they talk and say things about what they want to do and how they want to do with Provoke, that gives me a good insight into how they're looking at Provoke, about which I'll probably speak in a little bit. At Provoke, my work basically is to nurture the relationship that we have, so that it becomes easier for our engineers, consultants, and project managers when they need any kind of work or support being done from Microsoft. One interesting thing about my role is when I applied for the role and first interacted with Kane about a couple of months back, there was one thing mentioned about my role, that it's a newly created role. So when I joined, I was prepared that there might be some unforeseen challenges that would crop up because it's a new role. I was of the expectation, because it's newly created, even people at Provoke might not be sure what needs to be done, which also added to the fact that if I am going about it, that was an added sense of, I wouldn't say stress, but concern, because it's a new role, new company and all of that. But then when I moved into Provoke and started talking to everyone, Kane, Jace, Jacques told so many times, and I realized that the kind of support that everyone is giving in terms of understanding processes, the technical competencies I would need, trainings, guidance was just tremendous. Everybody was forthcoming in terms of answering any questions that you would have. And that for me was very important, because as a newcomer to a team, one always has questions. And sometimes you're not even sure if you should ask those questions, because you feel like, will I look like a stupid guy or what? But then I realized that this group of people that I'm working here with is like a safe zone where you can ask whatever you want, and they will not make you feel like, why are you asking this? You're supposed to know this. So that kind of gave me the confidence. And I think it's really important. Because this ability and privilege to ask questions is what helps an individual grow individually and also with the team together. It helps you be creative and explore possibilities and get the best out of you. So that is one feel that I got in the 1.5 months that I've been here, that you have the support and guidance from people around that would help you grow if you are interested and curious in figuring out things for yourself. So that was about my role. If I may speak of the company, because I've had some work experience before, so I had an idea or experience of how a company might be, how the people could be there. So when I started looking at Provoke, the profile of the company when I was applying, I felt that, and then after again speaking with Kane and the people here, I felt that it is a 20-year-old established company, but also at the same time, one having the energy and enthusiasm of startup with a very focused vision and looking at identifying new opportunities, and also with a very strong emphasis on employee well-being and growth. That is what I felt about this. The other thing that I felt, they have something called a social club, which is like the fun place that keeps you in high spirits, motivates you. And they do all these fun events. Last year they went skiing, I think in August. And it was such, I think successful is the word for a fun event, that again, we're doing that again in August this year. So these are things I think, make you feel a part of the team, connected, and you feel at home is what I feel here. Another thing I would like to say in terms of how I look at Provoke and how they think is, like, for example, my own role. It's a newly created role with the vision that the business is growing year on year. Involvement with Microsoft and the other tech partners would grow. So it would be best if there is someone dedicated to help develop and grow these synergies with our tech partners, because that is what would be required, say, 1 year down the line. So it's best to be prepared now. So the idea that they have foresight into looking at what may be needed tomorrow, day after today, is what makes me feel confident of the fact that I've made the right decision in joining Provoke. Even though my role is not highly technical, like what Abby or Jacques were mentioning, but there is still so much that I could learn that would help me with my role. There is training and growth and upskilling opportunities. Like she was saying, you are motivated to train and upskill yourself. And that I think is very important for a graduate coming in, because today the industry is moving so fast, you need to upskill as soon as possible. Otherwise you're left behind. And again, I would like to just end on the fact that, like I said earlier, because of the fact that I talk to so many people outside the business and the insights and the feedback that I get from them, it makes me feel that I've done the right thing joining here, because they are interested in helping us grow, work with us together, so that because they see the confidence, and both of us, Provoke, Microsoft, for example, can put our resources together, grow, and it's just going to be mutually beneficial for everyone. So that's been my 1.5 month experience. I think it's the right thing that I've done. Okay, and I think you're muted.
I'll unmute myself. There we go. Awesome. Thanks very much for that, Raj. And so I'll just close it out now with a few quick things, just sort of around what coming on as a graduate, or sort of how we run our graduate pipeline. But ultimately, as Jacques mentioned before, we have a whole range of different roles, and we're a little bit different to a lot of other services organizations where we have certain graduate intakes, is that we love to see graduates at any time of the year, any point in their careers or in any point in their search that they're wanting to look for an opportunity, we're willing to engage in a conversation and figure out what a time frame might look like from there. So anything across engineering and consulting, which Jacques mentioned, which covers all of our technical skill sets, as well as our product owners and our business analysts, our project managers. Then we also have enablement. So that's all of these lovely people, including myself as the recruitment manager, that supports all of our teams within Provoke. So everything from finance and risk to accounting, to office managers and business support managers, as well as to myself in the recruitment space and talent acquisition and talent development and HR. And then we also have sales teams as well. So literally, if you're looking for an opportunity, there is likely to be a role here for you. But the one thing that I will say is what sort of separates graduates and how do we sort of assess the skills of a graduate? Because as Abby said, you don't need to come with all of the prerequisite technical skills. There's what you have things that are a little bit easier to learn, which is the technicals. It's all of the softer skills and the underlying capabilities that are a little bit harder to teach and a little bit more self-driven. So the first one is around a growth mindset. So Stephen Curry said it best when he says, success is not an accident, success is actually a choice. So all that is focused around, you're only going to be able to take opportunities if you put your hand up. Sometimes, or in a lot of places, opportunities aren't just given to you. And that is the case here at Provoke, is that you have to put your hand up, you have to show that you're willing to learn, that you're willing to develop, and you are literally the driver of your own success within our business, as well as out there in the world. And you might see a little bit of a theme with my quotes and with our key skills here, is because we've got Michael Jordan coming up next, who talks a little bit more about teamwork. So talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. And he's someone that has won quite a few in his time, not just on the basketball pitch or the basketball court pitch, but also in business, is that it takes a team to be really successful. You can have all the talent in the world, but in an organization like Provoke, and when you're building large enterprise applications, it's not always down to one person. We work cohesively as a team. So we look for people that can show really strong teamwork within their careers or within their studies at university, but also someone that's really open to things like feedback, which is a very key part of teamwork. So being open to taking feedback, giving feedback, and being able to work on that and working constructively towards building the right solutions. The next is about communication. So as Paul Mayer, who is the world's bestseller of self-improvement literature, he mentions that communication, or what we call the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. And communication a lot of the time just isn't about how you talk, it's also about how you actively listen. So your ability to take in information, process that information, and then feed it back to your teams, as well as feeding it back to the customer who you're sitting in front of. Being able to effectively or eloquently describe the solutions that you're trying to build, or reiterate their problems within a business context, and then turn that into a technical solution. The last thing we really look for is accountability. And it might sound quite harsh, and coming from Harry Truman, who was the 33rd president of the United States, he was quite an abrasive bloke, but he said, if you can't stand the heat, you better get out of the kitchen. And a really key thing here at Provoke is that we put our hands up, and we say, hey, we want to take accountability for that. And we're willing to take that accountability, we're willing to take the heat, and we're willing to sit in a room and what's the best word for it? I suppose portray our viewpoint, and then really sit behind it and have a good argument to drive that forward. And then, hey, if we make a mistake, it's not the worst thing in the world. For us, it's about saying, hey, let's identify that early, take accountability for mistakes, take accountability for problems or risks on projects, and say, hey, let's work as a team to solve this. So these all really go together. So as I said, we have a range of opportunities. You can jump onto our website, which is www.provokesolutions.com. You can always just reach out to me. I've got my phone number there, my email address. You can even pop up and see us on Lambton Key if you're in Wellington anytime soon. We're generally in the office most days of the week, most people around, but we do have a sort of hybrid and remote first, as well as a very geographically dispersed workforce all across New Zealand. We've got, I think it's about 4 or 5 employees in Christchurch, 2 or 3 in Dunedin, We've got a whole bunch up in Auckland, as well as here in Wellington, and then over in North America across the whole of the United States. But I really wanted to leave some time so that you guys can ask some questions. So I'll open up the floor to you, and you can ask either myself, Abby, Jacques, or Raj specific questions, or you can just pose something to everyone as a whole, and we'd be happy to answer anything that you have. But thanks very much for joining us and obviously taking the time. Any questions? Do I need to put myself on mute so that someone else can talk, or?
I'll ask a question. What
Cool.
does the application process look like?
Yeah, we're pretty relaxed. So the first thing is all we'd love to see is a CV, as well as a bit of a cover letter explaining sort of what you've been doing. So really demonstrating some of those core values that we mentioned. They can just be sent along to myself or applied through one of our jobs that we have online. The next thing that happens is we generally put you into a 30-minute conversation with one of the key senior leaders. So either Jacques, who's the VP of Global Engineering. We've also got Shanti, who is our head of consulting. So someone that really heads up the certain business area that you would be applying to. That conversation would be about 30 minutes to just really understand a little bit about you, what you're looking for, your motivations, which would then move to a more technical interview and generally a bit of a technical exercise. So for engineering and for all of our technical skill sets, we have HackerRank, which is a small online coding activity. For UX, we have a little design problem. For consulting and business analysis, it might just be a bit of a scenario-based question. And the purpose of that is to really understand how you think, not so much getting the question right. So it's being able to break down a problem, work through a solution, and to be able to justify that. Nice and easy at the end of it would be a little bit of a meet the team. So it might be a sort of 15 to 30-minute call with a couple of people. Onto references, offer, nice and quickly. And we're so agile, or we're agile enough that we can move through this process pretty quickly. So anything from sort of 1 week to 2 weeks from application to making a decision.
I think I took 2 weeks from applying to joining.
Whew.
There's also a question in the chat. They want
cool.
to know if you have any summer internships available.
Do we have any summer internship? Jacques, do you want to take that one on?
Yeah, sure. So today we're kind of predominantly looking at kind of grad programs, right? That might change in the future, but really, I guess our process to kind of get grads on board, invest in some kind of real world, some training and upskilling to get onto kind of core tech stack, and then really get you involved in projects as quickly as possible. And we really like the longevity around that. However, if it's kind of like your final year and you're looking to go straight from internship into a position, then definitely kind of have a chat with us. Or even if there's a small gap in between, happy to, I guess, consider that. But no official kind of pure internship programs today.
Yeah, it's pretty much on that point, is that we're open to anyone, anytime. If you've got the right skills and you show all the right values, we're happy to invest in people and go from there. I still missed something in the chat.
I guess also, how many graduate roles would you have on offer?
Yeah, so I don't know if we quantify it from the numbers, but from a history standpoint, let's go for that. So in the last sort of 2 or 3 months, we've hired 4 graduates. So we've got 1 in our consulting side of the business. Where we've had 3 in our engineering team who will be joining over well, 2 have joined already, 2 are coming, so 5. My math is really bad. So we've had 5 graduate roles over the last sort of at least 4 months, 4 or 5 months. Now, moving forward, how our business works is that it works on the projects that we have. And so a big part of it is making sure that we have pipelines that we're able to put people onto projects so we can get you into those right learning situations, which really just comes with time. So the next probably round, it would be looking still in that engineering space, but I know that we've got a few new bits of work coming up in our modern workplace team. So working with Teams or Office 365 products, Power Apps and Power Automate, doing things like Power BI, so a lot of dashboarding and reporting. And then I know that we've actually got one available right now in the accounting space. I'm not too sure how relevant it would be on this call, but we do have a graduate accountant role or a graduate finance role available right now.
Cool, thank you. I guess if no one has any more questions, we'll just sign off for the day, but thanks for the great presentation.
Yeah, perfect. And as I say, if you have any other questions, just give me a call or flick me an email. I'm happy to engage over that as well.